What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is episode 950 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am here once again with my co-host. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, crisis actors. It's Mary. I'm sure that you cannot perceive this, or at least I hope that you cannot perceive this, but we're having like sound abnormalities on our end, which is extremely distracting for me because I like to have my own voice like blaring in my ears.
Yeah, you're the only one that likes that. I've got a perfect volume that I've got for mine that is not distracting. Actually, yesterday, so I've reconfigured it today, so mine is fine today. But yesterday, like when we started the show, I didn't notice it in playback when I was doing the cutting of the segments, but when we started, I was like so thrown off that I was like,
it was a situation.
It was a whole thing.
It's okay though. We're gonna power through. And today, guys, this is like if there ever were a PCC episode.
Oh, it's a headphone. Guys, it's a headphone issue, not a sound issue for them. That's what they're like. No,
it's not on your end. It's just us.
Okay, go for it.
But if there ever were a PCC episode equivalent to a women's summit, this is it. You're going to be hearing from all the women.
I wrote it in my note, and like my
all the women on the planet.
I wrote it in my notes.
Yeah, and also that was how I was feeling throughout, like making thumbnails today. Let's just put someone's face there and make up something that they didn't say.
Big shout out to Mergler, who has changed his tune on me today. He says, Brett, really good person.
Oh,
so you know,
how did you change your mind?
The chat about broke Brett. Him down and finally helped him see the light that I am in fact a very good person, top tier as a matter of fact.
We have a 20 from Pop Culture Junkie. Box office turd Madam Web became #1 2024 Netflix movie. Same with Kraven the Hunter and Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Weak box office, but became streaming hits. Many examples. Why? Botched theatrical marketing, 2 different audiences.
Look, there is such a thing as a movie that's perfectly acceptable to watch at home, but something that you don't know if you're going to take the time to go see it in theaters. Oddly enough, for me, those movies don't necessarily fall into those categories because the bigger budget superhero movies, even bad ones, are ones I want to see on a bigger screen. Whereas like a smaller budget movie, less spectacle, maybe you're okay with waiting to see it at home. But I'm already kind of on like a bias against the idea of like the home release of a movie. TV show makes more sense than me. Like I've considered doing more reviews, but I don't always want to go out to the theater. So I was like, maybe I'll review some movies that come out in streaming. And then I'm like, no.
Well, I appreciate seeing them in theaters as well. I am not one to watch movies at home, but I think that part of the reason at least Madam Web became popular on streaming is that it was like a joke of a movie.
Well,
it was
Snow
getting
White.
like dragged so much that you know, piqued curiosity for people to see it. And
Snow White became #1 on streaming, as if that's like a selling point for your movie.
It was #1 on Disney Plus, so that means it was a success.
Doesn't mean anything.
I think it actually means like the more generated conversation happens around a certain movie, the more likely people want to see it. Just not for the price of going to the movie theater.
I will say that I'm not going to lie, and I'm kind of exposing myself here. Like everybody's kind of dunking on Predator Badlands because it's very clearly not going to be anything like the original Predator from like the 80s, the Arnie Predator. And I heard the pitch for the movie and I'm like, not gonna lie, I actually want to see it. But everybody's like, it's a more likable Predator. It's like a rom-com buddy cop movie with Elle Fanning in the Predator.
Is this the second sequel?
This is like a. Remember the Dan Trachtenberg? Yeah, he did Prey.
Is a sequel.
And then they did, but it doesn't involve that character. It doesn't have the girl from it. And it's nothing connected to the television show that was done earlier this year, I don't believe. I don't know if it's canonically connected to that. But the point is it's being released in theaters, PG-13, not R. And on one hand,
not enough gore.
So they got a really clever workaround. So because
1 second, I have to grab a hair tie out of my bag because my hair is. Okay. I don't know why it's driving me crazy.
So Elle Fanning's character is basically a synthetic, and they get around it by she can they can have all the violence they want because there's no red blood.
Oh, what color is it?
It's like silver.
Silver?
Yeah. So you
I
don't
remember that from watching Prey.
Well, no,
All I
that's what I'm saying. It's
remember-
not the same as that. So, and that was a Hulu release anyways. I don't think Prey went to theaters. But the point is I fully admit that I bet you if I went and saw it, I would end up liking it. But the way they're selling it is horrible. They're like, it's like a likable predator, and it's like, it's empathetic. It really helps you empathize with the predator.
The monster?
Yeah, the monster's the good guy. The predator is the good guy in this movie. But they're not wrong to want a movie that is 100. Like, the people that are criticizing the concept are not wrong for wanting a testosterone-filled, all-male cast being picked off one by one by a predator. Well, Arnie, let's get to the chopper. Like, you're okay with that. There's nothing wrong with that, but I fully admit that I probably would end up liking Badlands, but I don't know if I'm going to watch it once it comes out on streaming, because if I'm going to see it, I'm going to want to see it in the theaters.
Ah, that's better.
That better? All right.
I feel much better now that I have my hair back.
So, guys, hit the like button on this video, please. And now that we've gotten through all of that stuff, hit the like button on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you've not subscribed here yet already. Please and thank you. Remember to share these segments and the live streams out with everybody in your life that you both love and hate. The more people that you share the show with, the faster this channel can grow. Also, Mary has coffee to shill.
Yes, I do. Go to castbrew.com and get yourself Mary's Ghost Blend. There's a 20% off discount for Thanksgiving. Turkey 20. Go use it.
Yeah, there you go. So what are we getting into today? We got a bunch of stuff to talk about. Number one being Millie Bobby Brown. She is telling the journalist to pound sand. That's what she's doing.
It's been a while since I've heard that.
I haven't heard that one
phrasing.
in a while. She's telling the journalist, "Hey, lay off. You're constantly talking about my physical appearance."
I'm only 21.
Yeah, she's a 21-year-old child. So we're gonna talk about her dressing down of the journos.
She's a nice person. I think that she seems very well adjusted and normal.
Okay.
And it feels unfair when she gets scrutinized as much as she does.
So we're going to talk about that. Also, Kristen Stewart says that Me Too failed. The women in Hollywood are oppressed.
We're backsliding.
We are falling back into a world of misogyny.
You know what we need to do to stop these regressions?
Give her more jobs and pay her more
equality?
money?
No. Not more jobs and more money. More luncheons. We need more luncheons.
More rubber chicken dinners.
More summits. More conferences. More conventions.
It is generally true that the world's problems are solved in hotel ballrooms.
Yes. And you know what? I agree with her. We need more lunch. More lunch for women.
We need to, is it possible that some dude can just start having men's summits and men in
Hollywood summit
play dumb, when they're like, why are you doing this? Be like, but I constantly am seeing women's summits. Who could get away with that?
Who could get away with that other than Pedro Pascal? Pedro Pascal could put on a Hollywood Men Summit.
Yeah, but the difference is
the entire point of the Hollywood Men Summit would be we need to give more stuff to women and be more emotional.
Who could make the actual manly men's summit? I'll leave that to you guys in the chat.
Henry Cavill.
He could do it. So we're going to talk about Kristen Stewart. We're also going to talk about Reese Witherspoon, who says the death of the rom-com has killed the dating market. I don't agree with her on this personally. But
I do agree that there has been a death of rom-coms.
That part is true. The second part is not. So we're going to talk about that. We got a bunch of other stuff to get into. If you're ready, then we can just go. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's go for it then.
So it's funny. Yesterday, we were debating back and forth about whether we should even talk about the fact that Sydney Sweeney talked about the controversy about the American Eagle ad campaign. Because it's been, 8 weeks? I have no sense of time anymore. It's been a long time since the commercial came out, since the controversy was happening.
Feels like it's longer than that.
Feels like it's been even longer, but that might just be me losing it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, so the commercial happened, the controversy happened. Sydney Sweeney said that essentially that she doesn't care that the controversy happened and that it doesn't affect her. And we also don't care that the controversy happened. It doesn't affect us either. So what is there left to say? And I guess the most interesting part of talking about how she addressed the controversy with this new interview in GQ is analyzing her media training skills. I think that's the only angle that we can come at this and make it slightly interesting, because the other discussion around the commercial is so tired.
So there was some, there's actually another discussion here. Is she high in this interview? That's what people were saying.
A lot of people suspect that she is blazing it. I don't know. Maybe she's just tired. Who knows?
Her pupils are a tiny bit constricted, but that's just me. Let's
Is that like a symptom of being high on weed? Because everyone thought it was weed.
I mean, it could be something like that.
What else? What? I don't know.
We'll watch it here.
I don't know what the signs are.
Chat, let us know if you think that. See, I think she's just expertly media trained and thinks before she speaks now.
By the way, I also want to mention that people are furious at this journalist. Her name is Catherine Stoffel. Mm-hmm. You'll see her in a minute, but people are mad at her because she wasn't pushing back enough. Wasn't.
She's the Tucker
like,
Carlson.
Oh, why don't you just lick her ass while you're at it? They were mad at Catherine.
She's the Tucker Carlson to Nick Fuentes.
Exactly. Exactly.
She's helping launder Sydney Sweeney's bad ideas to society. Okay.
That's such a good analogy. So people are mad at Catherine for how she conducted this interview. And I will also
mention... Did Qatar pay for this?
This was edited quite a lot. It just doesn't appear to be. So anyway, I'll preface there.
Here we go.
We're sort of talking around this American Eagle ad right now, and maybe we should just talk about it. So, were you surprised by the reaction?
I did a Gene ad.
The silence is so loud.
I mean, the reaction definitely surprised, but I love jeans. All I wear are jeans. Literally in jeans and a t-shirt, like every day of my life.
Jeans are uncontroversial.
This lady looks like, if anybody ever watched 24, the Sarah Clark, the actress Sarah Clark, she looks like homely Sarah Clark. It's not a knock.
Don't be mean to Catherine.
Controversial. Jeans are awesome.
Yeah, I like your jeans.
You look great in your jeans. I think I know how you're going to answer this, but I'm going to ask anyway. I mean, the president tweeted about the jeans ad, or Truth Socialed about the jeans ad, and that just seems to me like a very crazy moment for anyone, and I wondered what that was like. It was surreal.
Okay, so she could have framed it like a question better that actually gives like
what was
an
that
answer.
like?
It's I don't know if it's so much that she's laundering Sydney Sweeney's bad ideas as much as she's just kind of leaving it open-ended and expecting a longer answer.
She was, because most celebrities in these types of interviews are eager to have a platform, a podium.
Yeah, they want to.
She's expecting a lot more from Sydney Sweeney than what she got.
Yeah,
certainly.
She's expecting like some long monologue about how it allowed her to speak out on.
Step into my confidence, or something like that. Well, they edited it and cut that video short. What she actually said in the interview in writing is a little bit different. And she said, well, okay, Catherine followed up after Sydney Sweeney saying it was surreal. She said, I think it would be totally human to feel thankful that somebody had my back in public, and conveniently some very powerful people. I wonder if you felt that way. So Catherine was trying to say, were you grateful to Trump for standing up for you? Which he didn't really do. He just said, like, she's a Republican, so I like it.
Well, let's listen to what Trump
I'll first say what Sydney Sweeney said in response to the question. I don't think ... It's not that I didn't have that feeling, but I wasn't thinking of it like that, of any of it. I just kind of put my phone away. I was filming every day. I'm filming Euphoria, so I'm working 16-hour days, and I don't bring my phone to set. So I work, and then I go home, and I go to sleep. So I didn't really see a lot of it, which is probably the best move.
Yeah.
It's just not pay attention.
Notifications off. Don't check your phone.
And then they just continued talking about her new movie, Christie, after that point. But they edited that part of her answer.
I mean, the journalist was actually like pretty fair to Trump and didn't try to editorialize
That's
too
why
much.
people are mad at Catherine.
Well, then I'm Team Catherine then now. Never mind.
Are we pro Catherine?
I didn't mean to be insulting when I said she just looks like a more plain.
You called her homely.
I meant plain. Not homely. Homely was not what I meant. That
so
was
here
rude.
is this was Trump's initial comment before Truth Social.
Yeah, here we go. Hold on.
This was when they found out that she's a registered Republican.
A registered Republican? Oh, now I love her ad. Is that right? Is Sydney Sweeney? You'd be surprised at how many people are Republicans. That's what I wouldn't have known, but I'm glad you told me that. If Sydney Sweeney is a registered Republican, I think her ad is fantastic. Okay, thank you.
And then he walks away. And then on Truth Social, he added more to his thoughts about the American Eagle campaign. Can you do your best Trump impression?
No,
for this
no,
one?
no. Like I don't do it. Like I said earlier, guys.
Try.
You
Just
need
try
like
it
no.
out.
You go for it. You go for it. I don't do a good.
Well,
Trump
I
impression.
don't have this.
I said so. I actually am of the opinion that you will make it farther in the conservative media space if you've got a good, like a halfway decent Trump impression, like on deck.
Well, you can do your best.
Sydney Sweeney, a registered Republican, is the hottest ad out there. It's for American Eagle, and the jeans are flying off the shelves. Go get them, Sydney. On the other side of the ledger, Jaguar did a stupid and seriously woke advertisement. This is a total disaster. The CEO just resigned in disgrace, and the company is in absolute turmoil. Like, it's just he's such a meme, and I love it. Like, I get a kick out of it. You can't hate him when he goes off and he basically says what every celebrity would say. It's like, oh, they like me, then I like them too.
Right, that's his entire philosophy.
That's a very bold thing to admit.
That's his PR strategy.
Yeah.
Because anyone who's on my side, I'm on their side. It's you have my back, I'll have yours.
Yeah, like I mean that's kind of what it is in Hollywood, but he's just saying it in so many words where he's like, oh, she likes me? Well, then I guess her ad is fantastic. You don't even, like, he doesn't even admit that he's seen the ad.
No, I doubt that he had at that point. Honestly, he just heard from, like, some intern telling, like, they're supposed to list off the news items of the day.
It's like when they're like, does he know who Nicki Minaj is? I'm sure he does, but, like, the peripherals.
He don't got time for that.
He knows the name.
And it should be noted that, of course, Trump's support for anyone is conditional. And she's still not commented on the item about her being a registered Republican or her thoughts on Trump. And in a previous part of the interview, she actually said, I've always believed that I'm not here to tell people what to think. I know who I am. I know what I value. I know that I'm a kind person. I know that I love a lot. And I know that I'm just excited to see what happens next. And so I don't really let other people define who I am. And that sentiment about not being here to tell people what to think is a rare gem in this industry.
Yeah, you don't really get a whole lot of that from them. Unless what they're saying is you need to learn to think for yourself by way of what I say because you already don't agree with me.
And I want to compare this with the recent row between the Trump administration and the Swifties after the White House posted a pro-Trump TikTok video scored to Taylor Swift's song The Fate of Ophelia, despite his history with anti-Taylor Swift comments.
Well, that's the funny thing about it, right? Is like you can't actually believe that whenever he says anything negative about a person that he actually means it, because he's going to come around 5 minutes later and say...
Obviously, this would never happen. But if Taylor Swift came out and said that she's a Trump supporter one day, then he would be the biggest Swiftie.
He would.
Instantly.
Yes.
In a millisecond, he would be like, oh no, I always loved her music. She's a terrific person. He even said positive things about her without the condition of her support, too. He said that he was happy for her and Travis getting engaged, and he thinks they're both amazing people. I
was doing some research into a video for so Deborah Messing made these comments about Zoran Mamdani, calling him an Islamic jihadist who hates America. And if you know anything about Deborah Messing, it's funny because she's very anti-Trump. And look, these people are very detached from reality. They don't know how ideologically captured the Democrat Party is. But it's funny because Trump in 2019, because she says she's like, I want a list of people who support Trump. Like I want a blacklist. And
in Hollywood?
Yeah. No. And he's like he called her like a McCarthyist. And then in his a 2024 book written about him, I guess he admitted that he had a crush on her. He loved her flowing red hair.
Trump is into ginger.
I wonder
That's
if he
news
just
to me.
I wonder if he just forgot that because he's literally always having to fight with so many people constantly. Do you think he has a spreadsheet of what everybody's said about him?
I'm imagining him saying the same thing about Chappell Roan.
Yeah,
her flowing red hair.
In my heart of hearts, Trump loves Chappell Roan, and Barron
the Pink
put him on
Pony Club.
He's he plays that at home.
Yeah.
That when he does the dance, that's what he's not listening to YMCA, he's listening to Pink Pony Club.
It says, responding to Variety's request for comment, a White House official replied, "We made this video because we knew fake news media brands like Variety would breathlessly amplify them. Congrats, you got played."
I mean, that's all the media is now for everybody, is the left and the right doing something inflammatory and then being like, why are you getting so triggered?
Yeah. I also wanted to mention, just because she's promoting Christy, the Christy Martin biopic, that I recently saw a promotional video for it that was clearly a byline from AI. Like, just, it was so clear because of the cadence and the syntax. It says, this story is more than just a boxing story. It's perseverance.
Like, saying this story is more than just a boxing story is the dead giveaway. You said
the
story.
dead giveaway is always X is so much more than Y. It's...
And they said story twice in like 8 words.
Yeah, and then it loves the rule of threes where it says it's this, and this all wrapped up into one.
So
like, AI loves wording things that way.
That's a Hollywood trope as well. If somebody's going to list 3 things and he's going to start listing stuff, on the third thing is whatever they're looking for. It's like, oh, is it in there?
Okay.
Da-da. They list one thing, they list the second thing. On the third thing, that's whatever they're going to talk about. That's whatever they're looking for.
So, like, feminism would be the third thing, I guess.
I guess, yeah.
It's a story of survival,
Yeah.
perseverance, and feminism.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's hilarious. I get a kick out of.
Oh shit! I didn't realize she had cornrows in the movie. That's crazy.
There, like, is that cultural appropriation? I figure.
Is that like a thing that people get mad about these days?
That's
anymore?
still something that people get mad about, I think. Like,
no, I haven't seen anyone.
My culture
mention
is
it.
not your costume.
I haven't seen anyone mention it, but like, female boxers wear cornrows sometimes.
But we're going to be talking about this Kristen Stewart stuff, so I figure we're getting back into the whole, 2017 feminism. Mm-hmm. That's my favorite type of feminism because it's the funniest to make. It's like the easiest to make fun of.
Yeah,
Like it involves the word salad that most people understand the most.
Well, since we just mentioned Sydney Sweeney's comment about not telling anyone what to think, Rachel Zegler, on the other hand, is in favor of Hollywood stars sharing their political opinions. And she shared these thoughts at the Glamour Women of the Year event, where she was one of many stars and influencers honored with this award. She gave her acceptance speech and mentioned that basically stars should feel free to share their political opinions, mainly because we care about their political opinions.
Yeah.
She thinks that the media is so obsessed with circulating stars' political opinions that there's no reason for them to refrain from sharing them. So here was her speech. I just want to preface again, she has such theater kid energy. I know she's reading from a teleprompter, but she does it in this very unique way where she can never turn off the performance mode.
Yeah.
She delivered this speech as if it were slam poetry.
Okay, here we go.
Here.
There are times when it feels a bit impossible, doesn't it? To exist in a world where it feels like we can't be louder than a whisper without it making headlines. There's something beautiful and terrifying about how much the world seems to care about our opinions while simultaneously telling us to stick to our arts, our creativity. But has an art always been opinionated? Hasn't it always held perspective, experience? Wasn't it always meant to be this way, to shift the worldview? I'm so thankful to Glamour for this honor, as I never thought I'd be considered the women of anything except maybe on the verge of a nervous breakdown. So here's to all. Thank you so much.
That was so quirky. That part was so quirky at the end there, right? Oh my gosh, I'm like so anxious all the time, even though I'm on camera for a living.
I mean, she's like, the only thing she missed out on there was an opportunity to name drop her therapist.
And this doubles down on an earlier comment that she gave in her Helen Mirren interview with Glamour for the award. She said in that interview about the same subject, I think there's this idea that we as public figures can't have thoughts or feelings because we're like paper dolls to the majority of the public. And she's trying to push back on that narrative that celebrities shouldn't speak out about politics.
I have set a rule in stone for myself. I decree this upon all of Hollywood. You are allowed to share your political opinions at all times, unless you are promoting a movie that costs more than $100 million. If you are promoting a movie that costs more than $100 million, you should shut up until the movie comes out and you've made all the box office money you could. Right now, Scream 7 actually is doing pretty well as far as their views for the trailer and stuff like that because of the return of Neve Campbell. But they've got all the controversy around what Melissa Barrera said in 2023, which means they were fighting against her political opinions back then. I don't think that firing was just. I think that they should have just waited it out. I think that was stupid. And you've got Matthew Lillard, who's going to be in that movie. I don't think that's a spoiler alert. It's been announced. And he's talking, F ICE. I do this every time to show how stupid they sound. F ICE. And I know that, and I think he's also with Five Nights at Freddy's coming up as well. So they've got all this stuff coming out. I don't think it's going to affect the box office for them because I don't think that their opinions are the ones people want to argue about these days. I think Rachel Zegler is a unique case. I think if Matthew Lillard had all the exact same opinions as Rachel Zegler, it wouldn't matter because she's more of a star than he is right now.
Wait, so you said Matthew Lillard is on Scream 7?
And yes,
okay, so this is just a double standard within Hollywood. The general public just feels fatigued with hearing celebrities' political opinions.
Yes.
That's it. But within Hollywood, there's a double standard of how that's enforced. Melissa Barrera was fired essentially because the brass in Hollywood is mostly made up of Zionists, and they wouldn't have fired her for saying something like the comment that Matthew Lillard had.
Correct.
Like
they would not.
Okay, they would not have fired her if she made some other statement about politics. It was purely because she was talking about Palestine. And I think something similar happened with the coverage of the Snow White box office, where they blamed it on Rachel Zegler saying Free Palestine. The issue was so much broader than that, and also mainly to do with what she said about the original Snow White. And it was just a weird rhetorical trick that they pulled after the fact to say, I guess people who would have otherwise seen Snow White in theaters decided not to because Rachel Zegler's like anti-Israel. Like, that's obviously just made up out of thin air.
Hello Darkness on the Rumble chat says Lillard died in Scream 1. Yes, I'm interested to know how he makes his appearance in the movie because I don't know how. If you guys are my age, you understand how big and heavy a TV was. He had a huge tube TV dropped on his head in that movie. So, look, but the thing is, his opinion matters less because he's not as famous as she is right now.
That's also true. I'm also going to mention, she thanked the dolls at the end of this speech.
Yeah.
As being part of the reason why she's on this stage. She said, I'm here by the deep love of my mother and my biological sister, Jacqueline. She mentioned biological because the theme of the night was sisterhood. The guidance of the women who've come before me, the dolls, and the inspiration to leave this world better for the next generation. And I also saw that Glamour does this thing where they have their Women of the Year talk about their girlhood firsts. Like, when was the first time that you felt beautiful? When was the first time that you made a mistake with your hair or your makeup or something like that? But the other girlhood firsts are your first moment of standing up for yourself and your first act of feminism. So I want to show that from Rachel Zegler and her girlhood first.
So from 135?
Experiences where I felt truly beautiful as a kid. I remember one of my classmates, shout out Marcos, wherever you are, when I was in the first grade.
I'm Team Marcos.
And I remember going to my teacher, Mrs. Conti, and just telling her what was what, and really being proud of myself. I was in high school when I did West Side Story for the first time at a local theater over the summer, and the creative directors were very comfortable talking about the young girls' bodies. And I remember standing up for my friends a lot when they made comments about people's weight or the way people looked in their costumes. It's unfortunately like a very common thing in the dance community, in the fashion world, and in theater. And nobody needs that kind of mentality when they're that young. I mean, I do have to go West Side Story again, because it really was such a monumental moment for me seeing that film as a child. It instilled my love for song and dance, and then it also was one of those moments of representation with Rita Moreno again, of course, and that made me want to do what she was doing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's her first moment standing up for herself was telling on the boy in class who hit her in the face.
That's so not a flex.
We don't know his side of the story.
Yeah, like
I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, like we don't know.
We don't know
Like,
Marcos' side of the story.
handle your business.
And also in this speech, she was calling out all these examples of, strong women in film that inspired her. And she mentioned Charlie's Angels and how it was full of she just loved watching Lucy Liu beat up dudes and say no all the time, and how that's really, really feminist.
Completely ignoring that the movie was fun.
Yeah.
Which is something they haven't been able to master in 2 decades.
Mm-hmm.
They always forget that part.
Right.
Add the fun. Feels like a chef on TV. What's the secret ingredient? Fun.
That's the secret ingredient that they were missing in the 2019 Charlie's Angels.
And to my point earlier, what I was saying is that for movies over $100 million, you should take away their social media. They should have no social media until the movie comes out.
Okay.
So you can recoup your investment, or you make them financially liable for any bad press that they get on posts that they make on their private accounts.
Is that the compromise that we can all settle for?
No,
You
I mean,
can
I don't
share
know. Look, I don't even know how you would write up a contract. I was half kidding about the second part of that.
You can absolutely put them under strict guidelines like that. You can, but
I'm saying I don't know how you enforce that contract with what counts as hurtful to the program. Would it have to be what if you just promote your movie but badly? People are mad right now at Ariana Grande because she couldn't make it to the Wicked premiere in Brazil, and it wasn't even her fault.
Right.
They're mad at her.
That was weird.
Yeah.
Why are they mad at her?
They're when you
The Brazilians are really crazy about celebrities, aren't they?
when you court, crazy fans, that's what you get.
Uh-huh. Well, no, I mean, I think you could definitely penalize her for attaching political statements to the Snow White trailer.
Yeah. I mean, but they're look, then it's on a movie by movie basis, because I don't buy that putting your political opinions on the ahead of the Wicked trailer is going to do any damage, because it's all theater kids and they're going to agree with everything you're saying anyways. Then it would have to be unequally enforced based on if you have 2 co-stars that have differing opinions.
Well, yeah, I think maybe your idea is you can share your political opinions when you're not on the press tour.
Bro, you've got 300 days out of the year you can say stupid inane shit on the internet. Can you just
But they're on press tours all the time. That's the only reason they do press.
I know, it's my secret plan to get them to shut the hell up all the time.
Otherwise, I guess just if they're posting on Twitter or Instagram.
Yeah, I just can't.
If they're not in an interview. But the only reason they do interviews is for projects.
And
unless
look,
you're Emma Watson, then you're just doing it for the hell of it.
And then they're working against the journalists who are I'm not here to help you. I'm here to get you to say stupid shit in quotes so we can put it up on the Variety X page.
The craziest thing about that recent Emma Watson interview is that they were like, "So, what do you got in the works? What's going on? Are you doing this interview for any particular reason?" And she was like, something's happening. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't really care.
Maybe I'll tell you, maybe I won't.
Most jobless actress ever. So yeah, that's just Rachel Zegler being Rachel Zegler. Not surprising.
See, the thing is with Rachel Zegler, she has the ability to turn it around. She has the ability to do one thing. She could just go the Zendaya route. Just kind of keep it to yourself.
Well, look, they gave her this award because she was cyberbullied. That's the only reason why she was named a Woman of the Year. She was Woman of the Year because she got cyberbullied. That's all that happened. So she benefits from it.
Yes. She's like, look, I may not get all the movie roles.
There are pros and cons of both sides.
Maybe what it is she's hungry all the time, so she wants to be invited to all of these dinners so that she can get a free meal. I don't blame her. I'm going to start spouting feminist bullshit if it'll get me a free dinner every weekend.
They don't be paying these actresses enough to get DoorDash.
If all I have to say is we need to close the gender wage gap and big is beautiful and all these other things, I'll say it if it means I can get free dinner.
Love Science is real. Where are the hors d'oeuvres?
And we need to reshape Hollywood in the image of women because women are, the divine feminine and something bullshit. Where is the drinks?
Yeah.
Is it an open bar?
Yeah, exactly.
Sign me up for that. Mm-hmm. All right. What would you like to see? Cringe or cute of the day?
Let's see the cute first.
Okay.
Let's shake things up.
Cute of the day. What do we got here? Yes. Jabba shared this one. This is a very cute one. Cute of the day. My friend Tori got this little guy today, and I just wanted to share him in the Crisis Actors. This is Oliver.
Aww,
Oliver is adorable.
Aw, I love orange cats.
Oliver looks like he's got a mega mind.
I know, yeah. It's probably just the fluff.
He looks like he could be related to a Pomeranian.
Yeah. I love Oliver.
Oliver's
Very
good people.
cute.
All
We
right.
need more kittens in Cute of the Day.
Yep. All right.
This is a Mom Donnie cringe.
Hold, please.
Concrete jungle where
Not this guy again.
made of his life will inspire you. Let's hear it for New York, period.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Yes. Cookies are great.
New York.
Like, why did you have to comment about the Chips Ahoy, dude? I mean, Mom Donnie's team probably scheduled this ahead of time.
He looks like he's never said a true or honest thing in his entire life. Just because he smiles constantly.
Yeah, I was going to like check the results of the election, and I was like, why would I even bother? We all know he's gonna win anyway.
But like he looks like he's great. You know how we talk about somebody who looks like they're like masking anger? His smile masks so much anger.
There was this old interview that people were circulating a few days ago where he's literally talking like this in this strange Ugandan accent.
So he was code switching.
And yeah, now it's undetectable for some reason. Don't know what that's about. Yeah.
And look, the most unfair political opinion or awful political opinion he has is that Chips Ahoy are good.
I think
which
Chips Ahoy
they
are
were
okay.
regular crunchy Chips Ahoy, which are garbage. Like you
I
have
like
to
the
get the
chewy-
chewy
yeah,
Chips
the
Ahoy,
chewy, of course.
preferably with the Reese's in them.
Absolutely, the chewy are better than the crunchy.
Like,
Should we put up a poll about that?
No wonder they lost New York to a frickin' communist, because this guy likes chunky Chips Ahoy.
It's poll time.
Okay.
Are you in favor of crunchy or chewy Chips Ahoy? This is really important. We have a 20 from Rural Conservative. Corn harvest has not been going well. Let's say I broke something, and we'll see how bad it is when the combine gets back from the mechanic. Dressing up in a rabbit suit and yelling, "I hate my Chungus life" isn't so bad.
You have to watch the
Damn,
new
sorry to hear that.
You guys need to watch the new Shoe on Head video about kitchen cells. It's the funniest thing I've seen in a very long time.
What does that have to do with the corn harvest?
Because my Chungus life gets mentioned multiple times.
Oh, with
Yes.
the food posts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then somebody else like realized that their like depressing life was like listed in the Shoe on Head video, and then had to make a post about it, how they gooned to the video in revenge.
Yikes.
Yikes. Big yikes. It's a big yikes from me, dog. All right. Let's move on.
So you might recall that back in March of this year, Millie Bobby Brown posted a video calling out the media for picking her apart, especially remarking on her body. And this was basically a plea for them to have mercy on her and other stars, especially ones who grew up in the industry and didn't have a choice in the matter. She said at the time, let's talk about the articles, the headlines, the people who are so desperate to tear young women down. And then she said, disillusioned people can't handle seeing a girl become a woman on her terms, not theirs. I refuse to apologize for growing up. I refuse to make myself smaller to fit the unrealistic expectations of people who can't handle seeing a girl become a woman. I will not be shamed for how I look, how I dress, how I present myself. We have become a society where it's so much easier to criticize than it is to pay a compliment. So she's doubling down on those earlier remarks in a new interview with British Vogue. And it was supposed to be a positive, like, puff piece as she's promoting the last season of Stranger Things. Mm-hmm. They did talk about her new farm life and her being a new mom with her husband, Jake Bon Jovi. And she seems to be living a joyful existence, but it still nags at her thinking about the fact that the media never lets up and never stops scrutinizing her, especially for her appearance.
It's the job.
It is part of the job.
Like
it is part of the job.
It would be like people in the political space getting mad that people disagree with them about politics.
It's I sympathize with her though.
Yes.
Just speak for several reasons. First of all is that she started when she was a child and didn't have a choice in the matter. And second of all, because she's at least seeming to try to create some sort of normal life for herself and her family. But here's what the British Vogue article stated. Stranger Things was a crash course in growing up in the public eye. She has been picked apart online since she was a child. Her behavior around co-stars deemed pushy. Her accent veering too wildly between British or American. She was relentlessly sexualized in the press and tailed by paparazzi. On one occasion, photographers chased her into a lift and surrounded her. She said, "I was really upset and the flashing lights were everywhere and it was really scary. For the first time, she sounds vulnerable. I remember after that being like, this feels really wrong and weird." She was only 13 at the time. And once she turned 16, she posted an Instagram video of nasty headlines and inappropriate comments from her years in the spotlight, calling for more kindness and support for children. This year, she turned 21 and posted another video in which she somberly called out 4 Daily Mail journalists by name for blasting her appearance and speculating about plastic surgery in the middle of her press tour for the Electric State. One headline read, "Why are Gen Zers like Millie Bobby Brown aging so badly?" As she put it in the clip, for some reason, people can't seem to grow up with me. Instead, they act like I'm supposed to stay frozen in time. And because I don't, I'm now a target. And that was really the main controversy around her post in March, is like, you shouldn't have called these people out individually because it's their job to publish these articles and they're probably not even the only people writing them. But those were the headlines. "Why are Gen Zers like Millie Bobby Brown aging so badly?" by Lydia Hawken. Why has Millie Bobby Brown, what has Millie Bobby Brown done to her face? by John Ely. Millie Bobby Brown mistaken for someone's mom as she guides young sister Ava through LA by Cassie Carpenter. And then Little Britain's Matt Lucas takes savage swipe at Millie Bobby Brown's new mommy makeover look by Bethan Edwards. Amplifying an insult rather than questioning why a grown man is mocking a young woman's appearance. This isn't journalism, this is bullying. So then they address that in this new interview. She sums up the reporting and the subsequent online dogpiling with humor. She says, "What has she done to her face? Why has she gone blonde? She looks 60 years old." Now, speaking with a declarative passion of someone who has with a lot to get off her chest, says, "I respect journalism. I love reading articles on my favorite people and hearing what they're up to. I understand that there's paparazzi, even though it's invasive, even though it feels like shit to me. I know that's your job, but don't in your headline slam me at the get-go. It is so wrong and is bullying, especially to young girls who are new to this industry and are already questioning everything about it." They say the worst thing was that she was excited for the press tour for Electric State. She says that even while she was getting her hair and makeup done at the Brit Awards, she was crying in the green room. And then she recorded that video the very next day. "If me being blonde or wearing more makeup really bothers you, I'm going to address it, not just for myself, but for every other girl who wants to try a new hairstyle or wear a red lip." She says now, anger bristling in her voice. It's like, get off my effing case, you know? I'm 21. I'm going to have fun and play and be myself. So I just feel bad for her because of the fact that this is all she knows. She never got to grow up in a normal way. It does come off as it's inherently not a relatable experience. It comes off as a little entitled because obviously you're ultra wealthy and you don't have the obligation to look at the coverage of you. You don't have an obligation to pay attention to what people are saying about you on social media for your job. You can hire other people to do that. So there's an easy clap back, but at the same time, she is a human being at the end of the day. And I can't blame her. I'm sure the majority of women her age are relatively insecure, and it doesn't help when other people are saying these things about you.
Well, okay, so she also, like, it was so far back when you said it, now I already forgot what it was, but she said, like, there's a difference between commenting on her when she's 21 and commenting on her appearance when she's 16. As far as boundaries for journalists, a journalist at the age of 21 commenting on the perception that you look like you're aging differently than previous generations isn't inherently bullying, even if it's written with a bombastic headline, which is per usual for these industries. And the sad fact of the matter is much like our job, is that if we were to complain about it, people are going to be like, go get a real job.
Yeah,
that is something you sacrifice, and she gets a lot of money for it. She gets a lot of money to sacrifice the ability to complain about her work.
Yeah, she has the ability to step back.
As for the rest of it, like, yes, when she was younger, sure, there's definitely some boundaries that might have been a good idea from a lot of these journalists. But the thing is you have correspondingly pulled together a massive amount of wealth and attention based on people watching you grow up. And now that you're an adult, people are going to have opinions on various aspects of your life. This isn't the same thing as, say, and this could be a whole other discussion if this did indeed happen, as like countdowns to when the Olsen twins turned 18, which was disgusting and obviously a product of a very, very messed up time in the culture. But now people have opinions on you or what's her name from The Boys and plastic surgery and all of these things. You have made a value judgment that the money you make in return for the job you've chosen to continue to do is worth that pushback. And one of the most necessary aspects of your industry, you make the money because the journalists write not just the hit pieces, but the puff pieces as well. Right. And all of the things that draw attention to you. So like I said, if I was to come out tomorrow and be like, my job is just like, people don't like my opinions sometimes, and it's a bad thing. It's like, yeah. And then everybody who lays brick for a living or has a job that requires manual labor, or you're a nuclear physicist who is actually smart, not stupid like me, they're gonna be like, bro, quit complaining. Quit complaining.
That's how most people feel. And I think they're justified in feeling that way. And I think...
I feel like the tactic about complaining about girls growing up when you're 21 is emotionally manipulative.
A little bit. Not intentionally so. Not consciously so.
But when she's 17, yeah, absolutely. Like, call out the journalists for being freaking weirdos.
I think that also she has been instilled with an inflated sense of self-importance since she was a child because of her work. They mention here, she squares her shoulders and reminds me why she was named UNICEF's youngest ever Goodwill Ambassador at the age of 14. Like, yeah, she's so young and naive and living in such a bubble that she actually thinks that means something.
Yeah.
And it's sad. It's actually sad because she never had the chance to live in the real world. Then she says, I can't silence 500 million people behind their phones. So what is the realistic route here? I think it's just uplift and empower young people. Can we fight back harder? Can we instill self-love and confidence into girls to be able to believe in themselves no matter what anyone says? That I can and will do. And then she mentions that the Daily Mail executed a quick U-turn in regard to her appearance. 3 weeks later, she says, they were like, Millie stuns in this dress. How do you change your mind that quickly? It wasn't that journalists at the Daily Mail ever had any opinion about you. They were just using headlines to get traffic on their website. They never had an opinion about you in the first place.
Yes.
And you can't be attached to the things that they say about you emotionally. It's Daily Mail's job to say stuns in this dress or lip fillers, speculation about plastic surgery. And it's, Vogue's job to then sit you down and tell you that you're an incredible person.
This is the price you pay for endless women's summits and free chicken dinners.
Like, I just cannot get over that line about this is why I was named UNICEF's youngest ever Goodwill Ambassador at the age of 14. Like I'm so sorry that anyone ever told you that that mattered.
Yeah, and it's
that has anything to do with who you are as a person. I'm so sorry that they gave you that impression.
they're expecting the world to treat them like their friends treat them. And that's not how it works. You're in an adversarial industry. And look, we had a little bit of a discussion earlier about people liking the idea of women not liking each other, but maybe it's not gendered. Like, you're in an industry with a bunch of sharks that want to take your job and your future work, and a bunch of journalists that want to like grow their career and get headlines and make copies so that they can actually get raises and make more money. Like, you're not in a hug box. You're not in an industry to make friends. And that's true in this space. And I oftentimes say that when I see the people like in politics just arguing constantly, bickering, assassinating each other's character, I'm like, I'm not cut out for this shit. I don't have it in me. Like, I don't have it in me to do that. Like,
or even just like really low level drama.
Yeah, I don't have it in me. And but the thing is I'm not Millie Bobby Brown. I didn't sign on for multi-million-dollar contracts, so therefore I get whatever level of commentary is associated to whatever level this show is, right? And that's what you've signed on for. And the second it becomes too much, it's within your right to go and stop. Like, you have that ability. Nobody's keeping you there.
But she might actually end up making that decision. It sounds like she's trying to live a quiet life.
Yeah, and then that's what you do.
They're living in Georgia instead of Hollywood. They have this farm with a bunch of animals, and they just adopted a baby, so they're focusing on being new parents as well. She seems to be a relatively well-adjusted person.
I applaud all that.
All things considered.
My only critique of this is I feel like it fails to understand the reality of the profession that you hold. And it is true that you did not necessarily choose to enter this industry. I don't know the story of how she came to be a child actor, if this was something she came to of her own volition, if she was like Sydney Sweeney, who wanted to act her whole life and like got her parents to get her into it and stuff like that, or if this is the type of thing where mom and dad were like, we're going to make a boatload of money off of you. I don't know, but I do know that. Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm going to revise that because I don't know how the contracts work. Like, do they get an out at 18? Like, do they get an out at 18 where it's like, okay, you signed on for 7 seasons, but at season 4 and you turned 18, you have the right. Like, you should have the right. But if she opted at 18 to stay in, then that's the life that you chose.
I don't know if it does work like that, but I think it should.
Yeah.
I think that when you become an adult, you actually should have the ability to get out of those contracts.
I agree.
It goes the same way for a lot of record deals that are signed by minors' guardians. I don't think that they should be held to that when they didn't understand the gravity of the decision that they were making at like 13. Just one last thing. This is kind of unhinged. They say that Millie Bobby Brown like drives out into the back roads of Georgia at night and like finds stray dogs and then like brings them home and like gives them a bath and has them sleep in her bed.
And
that's why they have 11 dogs now.
And her husband's like, oh my.
And then they ask her, has your husband ever asked you to stop letting these random stray dogs sleep in your bed? And she says, no, he just lets me be me.
Like that,
a little strange.
That is a pernicious lie that society tells you that that's a good thing.
She's trying to become a veterinary technician. Sorry. So maybe she's gonna decide, after Stranger Things is out, that she wants to take a hiatus and focus on the animals.
Perfect.
Maybe that'll be a good route for her to take. Good for her mental health.
Good for her. All right.
Shane H. Wilder said, happy Wednesday, Brett and Mary. So Dwight Schrute's neocon son seems to think that culture doesn't matter and that politics is not downstream from culture.
Who are we talking about?
Yeah, so there was this guy, I forget his name now. It was like Clayton or something.
Oh, I saw that
What
post.
was his name?
It was like Claypool.
No, it was like actually, no, yeah, it was not Clayton. It was like Wyatt Clay something.
Okay.
He was trying to like clap back at Brett Cooper's Ted Cruz call out, and he was saying like, this is how you know Brett Cooper is like has never been a serious commentator because all she does is gawk at the debauchery of our culture. And
he had like neocon in his profile.
He did have neocon in his profile, yes. And I was just like, this is such a pernicious lie that for some reason a lot of really out of touch conservatives believe, that commenting on culture means that you're gawking at it and that you're giving it a platform.
Well, I mean, that's
I promise you the Grammys or whatever doesn't need us to platform it. It is platformed.
That was the same thing that they were saying.
Hollywood.
It's the same thing basically the same thing that they were saying about Millie Bobby Brown. They were saying like you were giving a platform to like bad ideas about her.
Yeah, and like look at for instance, Alex Clark's show that they started at Turning Point. Mm-hmm. She was probably the first ever conservative commentator to talk about pop culture, like period.
That type of pop culture, yes.
And Charlie Kirk had complete faith in the idea and thought it was a great idea. Mm-hmm. And there's a reason for that. It's just like such a weird thing to feel like a superiority about, like, oh, I'm above talking about culture.
And people in that guy's comments,
intellectual.
And people in that guy's comments were like, "You're not dragging us back to the irrelevance of 2004 GOP."
Yeah,
like
he just
you're
looks
not.
like the average poli-sci nerd who went to CPAC in an ill-fitting suit with mothballs in it.
All of that stuff is exactly why I would never want to be like a political commentator, because I just look at all those people tearing each other down. Half of them probably praised Brett Cooper before, and I didn't even look into whatever they were, like I didn't even look into whatever they were talking about, because I don't care. Like I do not care. It does not matter to me. I don't have, like, this is why I don't talk about that type of stuff, because like you're going to have to deal with people that once supposedly liked you tear you apart over a singular opinion, even if it's the worst opinion in the world.
Well,
whatever.
The dispute between Brett Cooper and Ted Cruz aside, I just thought it was crazy that Ted Cruz
he was lying.
Pretended not to know who she was. Like, that is so lame.
Like,
come on,
working in this space, you know just how big of a lie that is. The amount of conservative rubber chicken dinners and women's summits and TPUSA and PragerU and all of these things. There isn't a planet in the solar system in which Ted Cruz doesn't know who Brett Cooper is.
He's like, I don't know who this angry lady
and
is.
like that type of lie just makes me want to just like no wonder everybody hates politicians.
That was the lamest comeback ever. Like, he was obviously lying. I can't get over that. Art Jokia, don't know if I said that right, said this show is unlistenable without 1.5 speed plus time is 22:08.
I don't know what that means. But
I don't know either.
But I can't tell. Like Mary sometimes listens to clips at 2 times speed, and it gives me anxiety.
I also read at 2 times speed at this point. This job has taught me to do that.
Let's hold off, and the rest we'll move on.
Okay. Kristen Stewart recently gave the keynote speech at the Academy's Women's Luncheon, sponsored by Chanel. And I just cannot get over how you can be decked out in luxury designer brands and showing up at this elite event for the ultra wealthy of society and then talk about how angry and oppressed you are. Kristen Stewart is really stuck in the late 2010s mentally. She cannot move past that point. But in this speech, she basically was calling upon her audience of other actresses and female filmmakers to fight back against the Hollywood Boys Club, which obviously no longer exists. And it was this speech that was met with rapturous applause from all of these women, who I'm sure have net worths usually in the 7 figures. She started off by saying, in a post-Me Too moment, it seemed possible that stories made by and for women were finally getting their due, that we might be allowed or even encouraged to express ourselves and our shared experiences, all of our experiences without filter. But I can now attest to the bare-knuckle brawling that it takes every step of the way. I actually want to show this clip here where she continues this thought.
Here we go.
Now attest bare-knuckle that it takes every step of when the content is too dark, too taboo, when the frankness with which it serves up observations about experiences routinely experienced by women, frequently provoke disgust and rejection. But they are true, and I don't
None of that matters if it doesn't make any money.
feel disgusting.
You can make all those movies you want. You just have to fund it yourself. And then you can be as unflinching in the face of your period blood stories as you want. But if somebody else is making the movie and funding the movie, then it matters.
I wonder if in a room like this, full of women who venture and dare to make things with their own two hands and their bodies and their voices, which takes lifelong work and effort to even
That is why Nicole Kidman should be praised, because she puts her money where her mouth is. Women.
discover, let alone trust in, amidst this infiltrating, misogynist cacophony of what is expected of you. Every woman has a right to use their true voice, not the one that's been curated for them by someone else.
Only if you're funding it yourself.
The first responsibility of a liberated woman is to lead the fullest, freest, and most imaginative life that she can.
Liberate the money from your bank account and pay for the movies yourself.
The second responsibility is her solidarity with other women.
Come together with your bank accounts together and fund the movies, and then you can make them.
Just by being here, we are thriving. I want to make sure that we self-possess that celebration.
I don't even know what that means.
Self-possess the celebration.
I want to point out that here's the crazy thing. On its face, I actually agree with her. I think one of the criticisms that many people have had of Girl Boss in Hollywood is that you were making men's stories with women characters, and it fell flat on its face because nobody wanted to see stories that were traditionally for male heroes with shoehorned women who didn't act like women but instead act like men. I saw this recently. There was this article from last year about women receiving gender parity with men in big screen leading roles in 2024. I want to draw your attention to the movies they listed and what they have in common, which is Wicked, Inside Out 2, The Substance, Moana 2, Mean Girls, and It Ends With Us. Yes, all of those movies were financial successes, technically even Mean Girls. Most of these are for women. The Substance is a horror movie, gender neutral in a lot of ways. A lot of people love horror movies. Inside Out, millennial parent movie that they'll bring their kids to, but stories that resonate with a female-minded audience. That's a good thing. That's fine. But they made inroads with large audiences of people, not just women. It took a lot of people, both men and women, to go make Inside Out to $1 billion, to make Wicked whatever amount of money that made. It was a lot of money that Wicked 2 made. Mean Girls made a little bit of money. The Substance made 4 times its budget. You can do this. The thing is, though, if you're going to make stories about like avant-garde female boxers that nobody's ever heard of, you cannot expect there to be a strong audience to show up for it unless you bring something unique to the table.
Yeah, that movie you mentioned was it was like a lesbian boxing movie starring Kristen Stewart and I forget the other one. It
sounds like a parody.
Love Lies Bleeding.
It sounds like a parody.
Now that you mention it, I want to find out who financed Love Lies Bleeding and if Kristen Stewart was in the list of people who put their money up.
It's also funny because they mentioned in that article that I read, they mentioned Mean Girls, and Mean Girls was a Paramount movie, but now Paramount, they're terrified. I did a video today that's going to come out tomorrow about Ellison derangement syndrome as he takes over Paramount Skydance, which they're now calling MAGA coded, and they're going to tell MAGA coded stories, whatever the that means.
All right, so Kristen Stewart did not produce Love Lies Bleeding.
Gotta finance it yourself.
Let me find out what the budget of Love Lies Bleeding was. It was made on a budget of $10 million.
Okay, how much did it make?
Let's find out what the box office return was on that. Made a total of $12 million worldwide.
So it lost a bunch of money.
Yes.
For those of you who may be new here, movie theaters take 50% of the money when it goes to the theaters, which means that they kept $6 million, maybe $6 million of that. If any of that is overseas, they keep even less of that money. All I want, this is why I don't criticize the likes of Nicole Kidman in these places. Certain people are putting their money where their mouth is. Be up Sydney Sweeney. Produce the movies that you want. Anyone But You was on that list. Made for Women. Gonna do fantastic with women. Blake Lively for all, or not, what's it called? Not Anyone But You.
It Ends With Us.
It Ends With Us.
Yeah.
For all of Blake Lively's faults, puts her money where her mouth is, and her husband fund those movies. And then they can say whatever empowering thing they want at the rubber chicken dinners because they've put their money where their mouth is. It will never be as valid when somebody who has no skin in the game comments on how we need to do more. Well, do it yourself.
Not to mention, they were also mad that men were going to see Love Lies Bleeding because they were like, oh, lesbian boxers? That sounds hot.
Foxy boxing.
They were like mad that the wrong people wanted to see it. And not to mention as well, the reason Kristen Stewart got invited to give this keynote speech is because she just made her directorial debut. Her new movie called The Chronology of Water is coming out next month.
It just sounds. It
even
like,
sounds like
it's like when they did the. It's like The Color Purple, or what was that one from? Like it just sounds pretentious.
The synopsis here says, a scholarship swimmer reconciles her turbulent upbringing and resurfacing trauma by finding solace in the art of literature.
Like, you
can't make this shit up.
You pitch that to the movie producer, and he's like, let me check to see what's going to subsidize that. Do we have a Marvel movie coming out this year at Disney? Like that.
Okay, let's find out who's producing on that. Is Kristen Stewart producing on
If she is, that's a good thing.
Okay, she's one of like 10 people who were listed as producers on this.
But it's not a gendered issue. You have to be, what's that saying? Be the change you want to see in the world. Be the financial benefactor you want to be in the world.
Great stuff. And then I don't want to just stop there because her speech gets even more interesting from there. She said, I am in a severe state of PMS today, but I relish being able to say that my nerves are close to the surface of my skin, and it is a great day for that. We can discuss wage gaps and taxes on tampons and measure inequality in lots of quantifiable ways, but the violence of silencing, it's like we're not even supposed to be angry. But I can eat this podium with a fork and effing knife, I'm so angry. The backsliding from a brief moment of progress is statistically devastating. It is devastating. Such a pitiful number of films from the past year have been made by women. We obviously need many more women's luncheons in our lives. We need to become ladies who lunch all the effing time.
Do you know who the highest paid actress is on television? It's Mariska Hargitay.
Oh, I thought you were going to say in general.
The lady from Law & Order SVU, because they've got they've been doing it for they've been doing it since the first Bush administration. That TV show has been on forever, right? Maybe it was a little bit after that. The point being, it makes them money. It makes them a crap ton of money.
She continued, there are too few of us. We're all here together now, and it seems like there's a lot, but there's not. It's not our fault. Sure, our business is in a state of emergency, and you know the last thing that I want to do here is lose the celebration under a pile of pissed off rubble. We're allowed to be proud of ourselves and maybe to allow each other to reclaim the gratitude we've all become talented at performing and really taste it from the inside out. I have no idea what any of that means. I am thankful to you. I am not grateful to a boys club business model that pretends to want to hang out with us while siphoning our resources and belittling our true perspectives. Let's try and not be tokenized. Let's start printing our own currency.
Yeah, do that. Make your own movies. Gather the Billionaire Girls Club and make a ton of movies. Start Period Blood Studios and start making movies that are about
Diva Cup Studios
and start making movies about female Olympic swimmers who go through traumatic instances and have to find themselves again in the arts. Like, do it. And when you lose countless millions upon millions of dollars, come back and ask somebody, probably a dude, what movies will sell. Or go and find the directors and the writers that are women that are doing well. I made a post a while back. It's really funny. Catherine Bigelow. Long before the gender wars were going on, we had Catherine Bigelow, director of Zero Dark 30, Hurt Locker, and of course the masterpiece that is Point Break, the original Point Break, beat her own ex-husband at the Oscars in 2010 for Best Picture.
I thought you were going to say that she beat her husband.
No. But she's, and her husband had the utmost respect for her. She's a legend in Hollywood, and nobody would ever have needed to care that she was a woman because it was prior to Me Too. It was prior to all of that stuff. It didn't matter because she was good at her job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that statement about the luncheons was beyond parody. We need more women's luncheons. Yeah. Do you actually think women's luncheons do anything for women?
And look, the guys in Hollywood aren't doing themselves any favor either because they don't seem to be writing the best movies these days. Anyways, like everybody's suffering. Your jobs are all getting taken by robots in the next 10 years. Your animators have been hired on to put themselves out of work by making animations that are allowed to be trained on AI by the companies that they're working for. Go out and start your own production companies and do those things. And the thing is, like on the television side of things, a lot of actresses have their, like Shonda Rhimes is like the biggest thing in television, has been for a long time. Maybe not like she was in the early 2010s. But Shonda Rhimes is a huge advocate for women's equality and for the power of women in cinema. And you can't criticize her because she puts her money where her mouth is. Sometimes it hits, like Scandal. Sometimes it doesn't hit. But the point is, she puts her money where her mouth is. I'm sick of them acting like their interests need to be subsidized because of some type of oppression when you guys can subsidize it yourself.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think women don't really understand business as instinctively as men do. So this is going to be an intractable problem no matter the industry.
Business is unfair.
I hate to say it, but like girl math, like that's what it is.
Business in a lot of ways isn't always going to be fair.
They think like the more important the movie is, like the more people want to see it.
But that's the studio's fault too, because they push the movies with that. Like this movie has an important message. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody's ever given a fuck if the movie has an important message. Is it entertaining? Mm-hmm. Like that's what matters. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's read some super chats. Brian Bledsoe said, "Remember, TPUSA did a men's summit out in the middle of nowhere for 2 to 3 days." I did not know that.
Look, and we can laugh at the men. Remember when like they made the videos of the men going out into the wilderness and screaming? We can make fun of them too.
We do.
Yeah.
And we have. But I wonder what the plan was for the Turning Point Men's Summit. What did they do? Did they cry? Did they scream and cry?
Did they talk about no, they probably talked about like why porn is bad because they don't want to hear like that's one of the things I see on Twitter or on X all the time is like it's like people arguing about whether
Beth Stuckey
complaining about like men watching porn when they're like dudes should be the ones telling each other this. They're not going to take the advice from a woman.
So maybe that was something that they covered at the Turning Point Men's Summit. I know they got a lot of pushback for only having a women's summit.
Look, I think what I want to is like I want to see like all the women, because so many of the women that are successful are also outspoken. But it's important that people understand that they're always going to get more leeway with their words because a Shonda Rhimes, a Mariska Hargitay, a Scarlett Johansson, if she was to speak out about that stuff, it's like, look, you draw money. You know what you're doing. Kristen Stewart hasn't been relevant since Twilight, and even then I would argue that she's a meme.
And it was kind of an accident that that franchise became a franchise anyway.
Yes.
Shane H. Wilder said creative directors comfortable with talking about young girls' bodies was Zegler's creative director, Harvey Weinstein. I mean, look, I'm sure she's not making up that story. I'm sure that girls in theater and Hollywood are do receive comments about their bodies that are inappropriate. Like I saw this one girl who had she actually was a YouTuber, but she said that she was in theater for a long time as a kid. And she was at an audition one time and saw a director say to a little girl, in front of everyone, you are disgustingly fat. Like, that is a thing that happens. So, I mean, I believe her on that. It was just funny that Zegler worded it the way she did, where she was like, I would always stand up for my fat friends whenever they like, okay, we get it. Like, nobody was making any comments about you. I was standing up for my fat friends all the time and telling them, telling those directors, hey, don't talk about my fat friend like that. I know I'm really skinny and like I don't have to deal with what they have to deal with, but like just because they're fat doesn't mean that you can talk to them like that. Like, my friend Fat Amy is beautiful on the inside, so F you. It was just, I don't know, it was just funny that she worded it the way she did. Adam said, can we build a wall around New York? The state or the city?
City.
The city?
Escape from New York.
I don't know. I feel like most of his campaign promises are not going to happen anyway. Yeah. Because he was promising shit that falls entirely out of the purview of a mayor.
When they make a movie about him, they're going to have that dude, who is the dude who made Hamilton?
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
He's going to play Mamdani in a movie. I feel like they have the same physiognomy.
Put him in brown face?
They got the same physiognomy.
I saw it. They had like a victory party for Mamdani in New York that had a bunch of like small timers like Aziz Ansari and Cynthia Nixon was there, and
couldn't even get Cynthia Erivo. My goodness.
They got Hassan Piker.
I saw that.
They got a bunch of pro Mamdani celebs. Shane H. Wilder said Mamdani and Jay Jones have the same physiognomy. There is something unsettling about it.
Did you see the video of like Jay Jones trying to like kick a dog?
What? No.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Like,
why? What is with these people and kicking dogs and killing dogs?
Yeah.
What's going on? No, I did not see that. Dingus Khan of Gongolia said, I was assured that NYC would never forget 9/11. Well, it happened. I mean, I think that, you know, it's... What is this?
Here's the video.
Oh, yikes. Wait, what is he doing?
What is that?
Does this guy know how to pet a dog?
What? Like, what was the foot thing? It's like the...
Okay, wait. So the dog was like far away from his foot. He wasn't like kicking the dog.
Yeah, but like, what are you doing that to begin with at all?
Yeah.
Like, what is...
These people are just, they're aliens. They just don't know how to be normal.
Somebody like asked to add like a John Wick meme in here. Like, bro, be careful.
Poor dog.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I do think that it's an affront to New Yorkers that... I mean, I just don't think that they should ever have a Muslim mayor. That's just my opinion. I don't think that it's respectful of New Yorkers.
Well, you are very clearly Islamophobic.
Their collective trauma. Which is real, by the way. Didn't happen that long ago.
Do one more.
Art Jokia said different time zone clock was 10:08 p.m. Thanks for reading this message.
Okay.
You're welcome, I guess.
Let's do
for
let's do one more.
Shane H. Wilder said Taylor Sheridan will save Paramount. Landman Season 2 starts the 16th, and he's got more Tulsa King coming out, plus 2 new Yellowstone sequel series.
Yeah, but the problem is he's only there till 2028, and he can start making movies for like Peacock and NBC Universal in the and Focus Films in the next year, like by 2026. So he's on his way out, and given all the money that David Ellison is dumping into, like he wants to go from everything that I've gathered, David Ellison wants to go the Disney route. He wants to just start buying shit up. I don't think that that's the approach that's going to work, but I do like David Ellison because other people hate him. It's very contrarian of me, but he annoys...
It's Chapel Roan syndrome.
It is. He annoys all the right journalists. Therefore, like, they're calling him MAGA coded, and that he's going to turn Paramount into a boy company, into a male-focused brand. And I'm like, good.
Are they?
I don't even know what that means.
What does that mean?
They don't explain it. They're basically because they just Paramount signed like a $7 billion deal with UFC and they're doing the White House the UFC fight on the lawn of the White House, that's like toxic masculinity.
Okay.
And yeah, so all right, let's hold off on the rest. Let's come back after. Actually, guys, we haven't gotten a crisis party yet. Let's get to a crisis party. Come on.
I think that we're living through a rom-com recession, and there are a lot of reasons to see that as bad news for the culture. Not only are rom-coms less common than they used to be, but they've also been devalued in the entertainment industry. Hence why Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell were so adamant about releasing their rom-com, Anyone But You, in theaters, instead of just dumping it on a streaming platform, which inherently limits its reach and cultural impact. Rom-coms are just not seen as an important genre for film anymore, and I do think that should see a turnaround. But recently I saw Reese Witherspoon comment on the death of rom-coms and how that has led to a poverty of, I guess, dating advice for young people. She feels that since we lost rom-coms, people have forgotten how to interact with the opposite sex. They were a teaching tool, in her view. I like rom-coms. I think they're important. I don't think that you should use rom-coms to teach yourself about dating or about interacting with the opposite sex.
It's one of the worst ideas you could
ever have. A terrible read on it. But, I mean, she has experience. She's been in rom-coms herself, and she listed some that she likes. She was on Dax Shepard's Armchair Expert podcast, in which he started off this discussion saying that a beautiful friend of his claimed men no longer approach her or her friends when they go out to restaurants or bars. Now, for context, Dax Shepard and Reese Witherspoon are both like 50 years old. I'm assuming his friend is also like 50 years old, and like maybe this is just what it means when you turn 50 and dudes aren't going to be asking you for your number at the bars anymore. But this is what he said. He said, "The system is really effing broken. Dudes need to be going up to girls and asking them for numbers." And Reese Witherspoon agreed, saying something is wrong. And then she launched into her theory as to why this is happening. She said, "It's all to do with rom-coms and sitcoms. You know how there's been the past 10 years, I would say even the past 15 years, this decline in the making of rom-coms, or legitimate big movie stars being in rom-coms." She went on to suggest that the decline in romantic portrayals on screen have impacted young people's perception of dating. It's not just rom-com movies, but I also think of rom-com television shows. The television shows that you watched when you were 11, 12, 13 that made you imagine and visualize dating skills. She mentioned examples of The Goldbergs, Everybody Hates Chris, and Young Sheldon as examples.
Hold a boombox outside of her window over your head.
I'm sorry, is Young Sheldon a rom-com TV show? Like, I'm really confused. Then she said, "I've been watching these shows with my 13-year-old boy. Young Sheldon is a great show. It's not just Young Sheldon. There's 2 other teenage characters who are dating. Shows like that where they're learning about relationships and romantic dynamics." And Dax Shepard spoke about how portrayals of romantic relationships on screen are important for boys to see because it helps them realize that everyone's terrified to ask people out.
Actually, it would be better if your dad had a good relationship with your mom.
You learn more, yes, from watching the example of your parents' relationship than examples that are on TV and movies. "Someone needs to tell you," he says, "that everyone's equally afraid of dating and you just got to do it." And Reese Witherspoon added, "Every once in a while you get a great friendship. I don't know what it is, but I do think these 10 to 15 years where the internet started, social media started, and then we stopped. We started going, rom-coms are cringy, but it was actually where we learned social dynamics from Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan." So young people learned how to date by watching Sleepless in Seattle and You've Got Mail.
Yeah.
In the 90s. Like, I'm sorry. That just sounds totally detached from reality. And not to mention, I mean, I know Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell have a strong relationship. They just celebrated one of their anniversaries with a weird post about how Dax makes jokes about murdering Kristen. But Reese Witherspoon is actually divorced. And she has kids from her previous marriage. Doesn't seem to realize that her 13-year-old son could learn more from watching his parents have an intact marriage than watching Young Sheldon.
Big
Like,
super chat.
from Modern Massive, they need to shake up the formula to make rom-coms work again.
I disagree. I think they need to go back to basics.
Go back to the formula that worked before, actually.
Somebody made a point to me yesterday where they said, like, they don't watch TV anymore because it's all the same. Like, nobody's reinventing the wheel. I'm like, no, they can't do like that's the opposite of the problem. The problem is now is like they've lost the ability to do what used to be so easy for them. Like when you have to overthink about it, guys, you know what I'm talking about here. Like if you start overthinking about it, it gets a lot harder to pull off. So what you have to do is it has to be so second nature that you can pull off your rom-com or your television show without even thinking about it. Because if you have to start thinking about making it good, it's not going to be good.
Right. The formula now is just subversion.
Yes. Like you didn't have to subvert all the time.
Right.
Like,
but still, I mean, I think it's like really delusional to say like a 13-year-old boy learns about dating from watching Young Sheldon instead of having married parents. Like that's just it's so obvious that it doesn't even need to be said. But
so the joke was always like when you were my age, when I was growing up, aspirational ideas of love came from R&B songs, came from Boys to Men, or from listening to singers talk about those types of things. We also don't have love
songs anymore.
That is maybe more than the loss of rom-coms is the loss of aspirational music about love.
Yeah, music is like now about breakups, revenge, anger, sex, and
I hear like
mental illness.
I married a woman that made me feel the way that you would feel at 13 listening to a song by Brandy or Monica.
And that's aspirational.
And that is aspirational.
That's another loss for sure for the culture. Yep. And even though I think rom-coms are important, they're not, I wouldn't vest them with the importance that they did. And I would say perhaps there were also drawbacks to people likening rom-coms to their real dating lives for many reasons. Primarily, there is this propaganda in rom-coms from like the 2000s that convinced a lot of women, first off, that like being a bitch is somehow attractive,
and that he's going to find you even more attractive and go after you harder.
That like rejection motivates men. Like that's not entirely true either. And then there's also a trope that conditioned women to see the bad boy or the immature option as the more desirable one. Whoever it introduces more excitement into the relationship dynamic.
Plus, they can change him.
Right, the change him, fix him thing. So there is this guy named Jason Pargin who makes a lot of really interesting content on Instagram and Substack. You guys should check him out. He made this video that really blew up about the propaganda in rom-coms that kind of misled him about what kind of man he should be to appeal to women.
Here we go. Let's
listen
to it.
Propaganda you feel like movies have tried to push on you in your lifetime. For me, I grew up with tons and tons of movies that kept saying that the worst thing...
The music in the background is going to get us copyrighted too.
Excuse us.
Hold, please.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Hold, please. We will get right back to it.
And could be is a grown-up. You'd see a lot of love triangle romances like this, where the guy you're supposed to be rooting against, his only sin is that he's just kind of normal. He's got like a job and stuff, but then some other guy, a bad boy, would come along and it doesn't matter that he like sleeps in his car. Or if both of the guys are financially stable, you're supposed to root for the one that is less emotionally stable, the one that is more childlike. And sometimes they would code it as, well, he only cares about his career and money, and he only cares about her. And if you're a teenager, that sounds great, but once you grow up, you realize, well, yeah, having a career sucks up a huge amount of your energy.
It's like the meme about, like every Hallmark movie is about a guy who's like, honey, I'm like, tomorrow I'm going to close a $10 million deal. I have to go to work. And she's like, but why? Like, we should go to an apple orchard and pick apples.
Yeah. And she falls in love with the lumberjack.
Exactly.
And he just mathematically does not have the same amount of free time. Now, some movies will take the extra step of having the more grown-up, stable option turn out to just be outright evil. But in Titanic, the scene that makes you like Jack more than the other guy is that for fun, the other guy just sits and has quiet conversations with his business partners, where when he has fun, he has big, loud parties. And the movie portrays it as him living more authentically or living life to its fullest, but he's really just living like a teenager. Like in The Wedding Singer, you're still rooting for her to pick the rock star over the finance guy, whether he's evil or not. And you often get lines like this from the film Ocean's 11.
Does he make you laugh?
He doesn't make me cry.
But this is not just a thing in romance movies aimed at women. In adventure films, often the guy who's like the big obstacle to the hero, it's just some dude doing his job. It's just a guy who applied for a job in an office and is doing the stuff that job requires. His big sin is that he's not against the system like
They're going to need those TPS reports.
the hero. And the hardest thing you find out when you become an adult is that this is harder, like objectively harder. It's being surrounded by good people who need you, your family and your coworkers and customers, to show up every single day and to do the job and to do it well and to be detail oriented. To be the boring adult in the situation is heroic.
So I agree with this take. And he did bring up the example of Titanic. I have always had the hot take that Rose chose the wrong guy. And they, of course, added the detail that her fiance is like abusive to make you biased in Jack's favor. But
well, that's the out.
Yeah, exactly. That's the trapdoor that they have there. Really, what they were trying to communicate is like, you got to pick the fun guy who has no ability to provide you a stable life, and he's exciting, and you met him on a cruise ship, and it's so awesome. Like, the reason why Jack had to die at the end of the movie, sorry if that's a spoiler for you, is because if they returned home together, she would end up hating him.
Yep.
They would have never stayed together if they ended up together at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, she wouldn't view him in this romantic lens had he not died.
My other favorite trope that happens a lot in television shows is like women get divorced from men and like don't want half the money. They don't want so this will happen all the time where she leaves her husband and it's not about the money. And we all know that in the real world, that's not how things work. You invested a whole ton of time into the relationship and people are going to try and get whatever they can when they get divorced. And there's like this, the money doesn't matter to me. I'm like, that's not how the real world works.
I think that was also part of the story in Eat, Pray, Love, which is another example of this trope where she seemingly divorces her husband for like literally no reason other than him being stable and boring.
Yeah.
Travels the world and then meets the love of her life that really, you know, gets her going.
Yep.
And then, I mean, even more recent example would be Materialists, directed by Celine Song, where Dakota Johnson's character has to pick between her ex-boyfriend, who is this struggling actor in his late 30s, has nothing to say for himself, has loser roommates, has no ambitions, but he's just all about the art, man. And then on the other hand, she has Pedro Pascal playing the stable guy who is really nice. There's literally nothing wrong with him. He treats her very well. He has a lot of money. He wants to be in a marriage for all the right reasons, actually. He says, like, I want to be with you because I trust you. And I think that we could have a really good life together. We could trust each other and live, you know, to the end of our days and be buried next to each other. Like, this is why I want to be married to you. And she doesn't even end up with him at the end because he's not, he doesn't have the spark with her. And then she ends up with her ex-boyfriend at the end.
There's also like there's this sense of like the road not traveled. So there's a song that I really, really love by Bob Seger. It's called The Ring. And the whole song is about this woman who had big city dreams to like, she wanted to go to school. She wanted a big city career, but she got married young and then and the whole song is about her spending the rest of her life regret. Like he sleeps fine at night. Her not so much. She listens to the trains and the trucks outside and dreams of what could have been. And that's basically the theme of the whole song, which is that he got everything that he ever wanted, which was her, which is perfectly, he's got a job, he's got a career. They're happy. Like you listen to the song now, you're like, bro, they got a house when they were young and they're like, they've been married. Like, that sounds fantastic.
The grass is always greener.
And that song is from like the 80s.
Probably because, people were living in a time of relative abundance, and when you have everything you need, then you
dream
feel like
of more.
Yeah, it's never enough. And I also wanted to show this clip from Chris Williamson where he was responding to Jason Pargin's take and how he interpreted it.
Culture.
Oh, please.
Teaching women to choose emotionally unavailable men. Maybe. What's the weirdest propaganda that you feel like movies have tried to push on you in your lifetime? For me, I grew up with tons and tons of movies that kept saying that the worst thing a man could be is a grown-up. You'd see a love triangle of romances where the guy you're supposed to be rooting against, his only sin is that he's kind of normal. He's got a job and stuff. But then some other guy, a bad boy, would come along, and it doesn't matter that he sleeps in his car. Or if both of the guys are financially stable, you're supposed to root for the one.
So he's just paraphrasing this guy's video.
He goes further into
that
it.
is less emotionally stable, the one that's more childlike. Jason Pargin just broke my brain with this insight. I think it's so right. Like, modern romance culture isn't just telling stories. It's shaping selection criteria. Across movies, media, even mainstream dating advice, women are being subtly conditioned to seek out emotional unavailability and volatility as signs of desirability. And the result is a generation of women confusing conflict with compatibility and drama with depth and brokenness with mystery. It's the he's hard to love but I can fix him fantasy, repackaged and repackaged in everything from films to novels. In The Notebook, Ali chooses Noah, the poor, impulsive, deeply emotional man, over Lon, her secure and respectable fiancé. What's the conclusion? Stability is boring and true love is obsessive, chaotic, and all-consuming. Is pop culture teaching?
So then there's a way to play devil's advocate here, which is that you're still telling a story. And you don't tell a story via boring. That's nobody wants to watch that. So if you're going to tell that story, I would be interested to know who in the chat could tell me if it's not brainwashing, if it is brainwashing, sure. Then they're like, you know what? Nicholas Sparks, when he was writing his books, like, you know what? We're going to destroy a whole generation.
Brainwash all the women.
These bitches are going down. Like, no. Like, yes.
These bitches are going down.
Or it could be that in search of an interesting story, you need conflict at the heart of that story. And now the argument would be that at the end, she recognizes that the impulsive and childlike man is not the right option, and that the steady, respectable, job-having guy is the one you turn to. The guy in slacks. We'll just call him the guy in slacks. That would be the version that's less propagandistic, but I do think there's an argument that people don't always necessarily do that because they want to destroy a generation of women. It's because you have an emotionally volatile writer who feels a certain way about it, and they're not thinking about how they can destroy women and the dating market and and selection criteria. They're just immature and writing stories that are immature that resonate with people.
There are some aspects of media that are top-down conspiracies. For instance, the sex essays that were published in Cosmopolitan. There are other parts of it that are inadvertent, and you need volatility, you need conflict in order to make anything that wins Oscars or gets people to watch. So it's a both and thing.
Yeah.
And I just realized, like, maybe this is why I like Twilight. It's not a rom-com. It certainly is a story of romance. I like it more than the other ones because she actually does pick the stable one.
That's a good thing.
Because, like, Jacob being the foil to Edward is the more childish one. He's literally younger, but also, like, he's more emotionally volatile. He's jealous. He gets angry more easily. Edward is the stable one who only wants what's best for Bella. Like, you know, he is like, whatever makes you happy, you do what you want to do. I don't care. Not that he doesn't care, but he was saying, like, if you want to be with this other guy, like, go ahead. Like, that's basically what it was. And I think that's actually more attractive than the guy being like possessive and emotionally obsessed with you, is that he was just like, you know, do what makes you happy. Like, I would like to be with you, but ultimately, if that's not what you want, like, go ahead and go be with that other guy. That's, I think, a way that Twilight kind of counteracted the usual tropes.
All right, let's go to Super Chats.
The Manic Mustache said, YouTube is censoring cougar talk. There, I said it.
There was a Rumble. There was a Rumble rant up here. Hold on.
Oh, this is like a two-parter?
Who sent that?
It was from the Manic Mustache.
Okay, so over here on Rumble, Half-Baked Treehouse says, late as usual, but apropos to cougar hunting, a likable predator is someone you call someone's hot middle-aged, recently divorced mom that is spending too much time at the high school football game.
Stay toxic,
Toxic, my friends.
Oh, okay, this is Manic Mustache. I'm very confused how that was related to what we were talking about.
You said cougar talk.
Yeah, well...
I'm just saying because he said cougar hunting in this one, so I thought they might be connected.
I'm so confused.
Oh, because I was talking about likable predator at the beginning of the show.
Okay. Yeah.
Our Sergeant 31 says alternative Titanic ending. Jack lives. They make it safely to New York. 3 days later, Jack is stabbed to death over a poker game, trying to make money, and Rose becomes a whore.
Well, yeah, she was a bit of a hoe in the first place.
She was already there.
They would have shacked up in some cheap, motel for a day or two, and then she'd be like, this isn't fun. Like, I want to go home.
Yeah.
And then,
because she's a child.
Yeah, exactly. And
mentally, she's a child.
I mean, it's, to be fair, in the story, like, they are teenagers, right? In the story.
Is that what I thought? Weren't they in their early 20s? Am I completely? I don't know.
Wait, like, canonically, I thought they were like 18 or something.
Guys, we are getting close to a second crisis party. Let's go.
Let's see. Because she has like a fiance who's like a little bit older than her. Yeah, so Rose is 17 in the movie.
I didn't know that.
Jack is portrayed as being in his early 20s, I guess. 20? I don't know.
Jack.
She should have stayed with her fiance. Look, like, is it really that bad? Like, he's kind of a jerk. So what? Are you acting like you don't have anything to gain from being with him? Get over yourself. And he only slapped her in the face because she was being a bitch.
That is a hot take.
That's a hot take, but I stand by it.
Don't do it,
She
guys.
was being a bitch. She was. Look,
That's
you should
not an excuse for violence.
No, you should not slap women in the face. You should not hurt anybody. But I'm just saying, like, that was his side of the story. That was his perspective. And she absolutely was being a bitch.
It's also, it's funny because the movies always portray, maybe it's because these movies were made at a time of abundance in culture. Like, they're acting like people are just walking away from, like, stability and money.
Much like American Beauty.
Kind of what I was pointing out before about, like, in these shows, they're like, they get divorced and she's just like, it wasn't about the money. Like, I wanted to move. It's like, no, I don't believe you.
It was about discovering myself. Yeah.
Or they're unhappy in their marriage where they get to stay home and take care of the house, not even well. And the husband goes to work and makes money and he's a bad person because he's at work all the time.
It's like, for too long, I've had to live in your shadow, and it doesn't mean I don't love you, but I have to go find myself somewhere else.
Like, that is actually crazy where it's like what is when the guy's like coming home from work at 7 p.m. and she's like, you're never home for dinner. He's like, what do you want me to do? Like, I've got a job.
Like, do you want me to not have a job?
Do you want me to not have a job? Because then we won't have the dinner table. We can have the dinner table where you get to eat and I'm not here, or I can come and be at the dinner table, but there won't be any food there.
She's like, I am the table.
We are all dinner tables. Like,
yeah. I never understood that. Like, from the female perspective, like, it's weird because the fantasy is like this guy is totally devoted to you, right? But also, like, no woman actually finds it attractive when a guy is obsessed with them and, like, you're the center of his universe.
But the thing is, those movies also were bad for men who looked at that as some type of, first of all, it put women on pedestals. And it's a very hard habit to break, especially if you don't have like any strong female influences in your actual life. You know, like you benefit heavily, I'm sure, from having a sister who like demystifies women to you in a way where they just seem like a normal person, as opposed to like these characters in movies that feel, especially in a rom-com, which puts women on a pedestal.
Do you feel you would have benefited from having a sister?
Probably.
I never had a sister. I was the sister, so I don't know. But I didn't have to share any of my clothes, so I'm happy about that. Yeah, you're right. And in real life, women are attracted to men who like have a purpose outside of just like pleasing you.
Which is where like it gets confused with the idea of a dude who ignores you and doesn't pay attention to you.
Yeah, there's a difference between those things. It's a false dichotomy that's been set up. Brian Bledsoe said, TPUSA, the summit is a grueling 3-day experience that will challenge every man physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Sent Brett the link.
He did send it to me. Hold on here.
The men's summit? It sounds like a little bit of overkill, right? Can't they just go to a normal conference where people are talking about stuff? Or do men like hate that?
Masculinity is under attack.
Oh,
Step up and be a man.
They're bringing this back, like
this is
year
from
after
Turning
year?
Point USA Faith.
Got it. Oh my.
On toxic masculinity, they have it completely inversed on its head, completely and utterly wrong. We need to be teaching.
Is that Andrew Tate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is he supposed to be there?
Teaching young men to understand that the world is very, very difficult. It's hard to be a man.
You get 100 kids and you thrust them into horrible environments. Very few of them come out to be this person who has forged themselves through the fire of adversity.
What I believe it means to be a man is that guy that literally puts everything before himself. Everything before himself.
They have an important role to play, necessary role. They can put their lives together and they can help their families.
You got to put your life together. You got to help your families. For gosh sakes.
They can make their communities better.
Make your bed, bucko.
And if that's not toxic masculinity, that appalling phrase. It's what keeps
doing?
Sorry, boys. The best compliment you're going to get is those videos women repost every 5 years of like the guys on the oil rigs where they're like, thank you, men. Best I can do is a video montage.
Number. All are in the. Do this forever.
Okay. We're going to do this forever.
That's the point of it, is that they're doing like obstacle courses?
Well, I guess the idea is like if you get yourself to do something difficult every day, if you challenge yourself, if you don't allow yourself to get comfortable, it's good for you. It's never a bad thing to force struggle upon yourself to kind of harden you to the struggles of the world.
Lots of people calling it gay in the chat, huh?
Oh, I don't know about that, bucko.
Why is it gay? I mean, what do men want? Do men want a summit where it's sort of like the women's summit and they just hear speeches? Because that's usually what the other summits are.
If you really want to be a man, you need to sit in a room.
I mean,
you gotta
like,
have a rubber chicken dinner.
What's the, I don't know, they're like crawling through mud there. They're throwing around tires. They're doing push-ups and stuff. Like, is that the whole point of it? It's hard to tell. I mean, I guess at least they're not.
Just go to basic training.
It just literally looked like a boot camp.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe
that's what men want out of a men's summit. Is that, I have no idea. I'm not a dude. But I would love your thoughts.
I guess, like, for me, one of the, the challenge was never, like, the military, but, like, skating for me was one of those things where literally every day you went out there and actively took risks that could harm you. Like, calculated risks that put you in danger, and I've had more than my fair share of injuries. And that's not necessarily about the same type of struggle as, like, carrying, a 50-pound pack on your back, like, up hills, but it's about learning the limits to where you've kind of developed your skill set and then slowly pushing yourself past them. And along the way, injuries, I'm covered in scars and injuries that have happened over the years. And that was how we challenged ourselves growing up. Mm-hmm. But everybody has their own path forward with those types of things.
Yeah. All right. Stephen TM said, aside from apple and pumpkin, are there any other pies your family traditionally brings to Thanksgiving?
French silk.
What is that?
I don't even know what it's like. The chocolate and
is it chocolate mousse?
And it's got and it's got the cream and the chocolate pieces on top.
Yeah, we always had that, but we didn't.
Love that.
Well, we just called it like the chocolate mousse pie. We
Oh,
didn't
it's
call it French silk.
In Minnesota, we called it French silk.
Okay, maybe that's a Midwest thing. I'm not as much a fan of apple pie because it's shapeless, and
I love apple pie.
it just like it falls in and just becomes a total mess. Not
Do
really.
you
fan of that.
like
I like
pie?
pumpkin pie. I like pecan pie. We usually had that too.
Just like The Rock thought.
But yeah. Modern Massive. Oh, I already read that one earlier. Shane H. Wilder said, wait, didn't Sheldon's brother lie and say he was 21 instead of 17 to knock up an older woman? That doesn't sound like good dating advice. That happens in Young Sheldon? I never know what Young Sheldon is or is about. Like, it seems like a weird concept in general because it has like barely any connection to Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
And everything I hear about it just sounds like fan fiction. It sounds fake. That's wild, though. Urashima Otaru said, back to formula? I don't...
Meaning,
about rom-coms? I don't know.
I mean, in general, I think that you need to get back to telling... Like, I watch old shows, and I really do believe that they did it well because they didn't think about it.
Formulas
like,
are formulas
now
for a reason.
Now they go back and they're like, crap, how did we do this before? Like I watch shows and they show female characters that are effortlessly feminine in their nature, meaning that they're caring, they're nurturing, but they're also strong-headed. You know, they can also be strong-willed. And we're not just talking about mothers. I'm talking about career women and things like that. Like, they had a way of doing it that just felt like they were doing it without thinking about it because they didn't have to. They weren't bogged down by what society was telling them was now acceptable for women because it's just what it was.
Robert Delera said, hi, Mary and Brett. Before we get to that one, we have a 20 from Joey King. What is that?
I think that's supposed to be Chris.
I don't know what
I
that
don't
means.
know.
Is the dullest turd in my internet toilet. Bring back real men like Bernard Black.
Well, I don't know who that is, but if he's like some type of Nazi, disavow. I don't know who Bernard.
I have no idea what
I don't
that
know who
means.
that guy is. Like,
Okay, we have a crisis party from
Thank
I
you.
See All. Thank you so much. Episode 1000 is just around the corner. This is a milestone for you guys. This is an epic achievement. There are YouTubers who have been doing this for a long time and are nowhere near 1000 episodes. What are you guys gonna do for episode 1000? And it better be epic.
I mean, it's so hard to do epic when your show is sitting at a table and talking about rom-coms.
Is there much that's really epic about us? I appreciate that. That's flattering.
Thank you so much. I don't know what could be epic, but it's
Plans are TBD, guys.
Yeah.
But thank you. And it's true that most people don't make it to a milestone like that, mostly because they don't do a 5 days a week podcast,
Yep.
which we do. And I do think it's impressive.
Look, for me to be able to make it to like 1,000 episodes without having any actual opinions, do you understand how revolutionary that is?
That is truly impressive. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you guys. Well, I guess if you have any ideas, let us know.
Full 8-person panel, bro. There aren't 8 mics here. 2 on each chair.
We're not as popular as we used to be, okay?
Like, seriously, people, like, we ask people on the show and they actively do this. They go,
No, we're just kidding. But yeah, we'll plan something special, I'm sure.
took like a month of Tate being on the morning show. Now he's like, oh gosh.
We don't know yet, though. Robert Delera. Hi, Mary and Brett. Speaking of Dax Shepard, I read an article where he allows his daughter to talk back and disrespect adults in public. This is repugnant, not good parenting, but I am not surprised. Well, that's just typical for Hollywood parents, of course.
Swampy Music says Mary works harder. Brett is still on episode 250. That my brain feels like I'm still on episode 250.
What does that
Some
mean?
days I don't know.
There's always like people taking sides. In order
Yeah.
to be a true crisis actor, you can't take sides between us.
Yeah.
Okay.
When we did the silver play button episode, we're like, who should keep the play button? And it was exactly 50%
No,
each.
and guys, like I just forgot about that, but since you reminded me, like it was such a contentious issue over who gets to have the play button. I didn't even realize it was like personal for you people. And then we give you the big reveal at the end. We thought it was going to be all jokes, right? We thought everyone was going to find it really funny.
Yeah,
that
they
we
were not
actually
happy.
had 2 the whole time.
Yeah.
But no, they were like, this is madness.
Yep.
Like, it has to be for one person only. Like, I was surprised that you guys didn't appreciate our joke.
They were going to storm the gates.
It was crazy. Yeah. Cold Leftovers said we need a rom-com Morning Glory milking farm. We don't. We really don't.
It's on its way.
No. Bloodbase sent us $9.99.
Okay, you know what?
Message.
You know
Thank
what?
you.
They can make that. They can make that, but they have to go back to costumes and prosthetics and no CGI. No CGI for your Morning Glory milking farm.
No Morning Glory milking farm. No. Joey King sent us another 20. VR's Why You Suck, Brett. You should Ills know who Bernard Black is. That's why you suck. You're not a cool, reclusive weirdo.
Well, okay, but I don't know who that is.
Why are you trying to hurl insults over this, man? It's probably not nearly as important as you think it is.
So I see 2 Bernard Blacks. One says researcher. The other one does not say anything, does not have anything listed.
All right. Well, educate us then. Send us another 20. Corey Anderson said, as a military member, the funniest thing is those people that pay $20K to get through alpha male boot camp. Those guys are jokes. So you're saying like that if they want to become the toughest men, they have to join the military to do it? Like, I don't know if you want to like sign your whole life away though. Rural Conservative said, finishing harvest with my dad's combine. Thanks for another great show. You're welcome. And glad you found a solution. Corey Anderson said, when parents are divorced, how do you determine who to spend the holidays with? I always choose my dad because my mother is/was the problem. I guess it varies person to person.
I always tried to. I saw both parents.
That's usually what I did too.
I had I was definitely one of those kids where like when I was growing up, my parents did separate when I was in junior high. Middle school for you, the rest
For the
of you.
Zoomers.
You know, when my mom was mad at me, I'd go stay with my dad. When my dad was mad at me, I'd go stay with my mom.
Ideal.
Yes.
No, I just spent it with both because we always lived close together anyways.
We had like that was it's so weird because at that time we've talked about it kind of on the show before. Like there was this weird like the 90s and early 2000s was really preoccupied with like the fallout of divorced homes, of like children from broken homes.
More so portraying single parents.
No,
than
I don't think.
anything,
I feel like a lot of it was like it was about like kids like their parents divorced, they got depressed. I think I got very lucky in that I found skating right at the time when that happened. So I got preoccupied with something that became so important to me that it's a mainstay. It's a huge part of my life to this day, however many decades later. So perhaps I would have felt differently about it if I didn't have that beautiful thing to come into my life at that time. Or you could even make the argument that the timing played a role in it becoming so important to me. But
yeah,
I think I just got lucky.
We have a 20 from Pop Culture Junkie. Annapurna Pictures, producer of films Zero Dark 30, American Hustle, Spring Breakers, among others, is run by Megan Ellison, openly lesbian sister of David Ellison. Must be interesting conversations at Thanksgiving dinner.
I bet. Is she going to ask him about his new MAGA-coded Paramount Skydance?
And we all know Zero Dark 30 was a CIA film, so...
a lot of that. I mean, look, Catherine Bigelow, she made Point Break. She's a legend as far as Hollywood goes.
She's a girl boss and an icon. All right. Shane H. Wilder said, Brett, I dropped the J. Jones John Wick meme after you mentioned it. It's on Twix, and pecan pie is the best. And it must be pronounced pecan, not pecan.
Not pecan?
That's how I always said it.
Okay.
Yorishima Otaru said it was Willem Dafoe Norman Osborn meme. What was? Am I like dumb today? Like, what are you guys talking about?
I did post that last night. I did post the Norman Osborn meme for Deborah Messing when she was like Zoran Mandani's like a jihadist, and they were talking about like people leaving New York for Texas. And she's gonna, and somebody was like, she didn't say that, but somebody like quote tweeted, and then somebody was like, sorry, we're full up unless you're a Republican. And I posted the Norman, and he's like, and it's like Deborah Messing right now, like, I'm something of a Republican myself.
Yeah. Corey Anderson said, how are Willem Dafoe and Steve Buscemi not the same person? I like your blouse, Mary. It is a nice change. Do you use a lip stain?
The hell is lip stain? Is that different from lip gloss?
It is.
Okay.
And yes, why do you know that?
Yeah.
I do, actually.
Hey, wake up tonight when you get.
It's not what you did, son, that angers me so. It's who you did it to.
Who? The fucking nobody?
That fucking nobody.
That fucking nobody.
It's John Wick.
It's John Wick.
Oh no, he's gonna get. Don't do it.
Thank you for that, Shane.
Yes.
Corey Anderson, or no, Pop Culture Junkie. Oh, I got lost here. Dr. Larcena. What if we take sides but keep switching? I mean, I guess if you really want to. You really want to take sides. Greg Duvier. What?
Oh, go ahead.
What did you want to say?
Oh, Mike in the chat says, you don't suck, Brett. You're just wrong a lot. And I'm here for it because you're a good dude who's wrong a lot. Well, I mean, that would be possible if it wasn't for the fact that I'm right literally all the time.
Yeah.
But other than that, you're on point.
Greg Duvier said, I enjoyed the plot twist of the play button. All good forms of entertainment have a good plot twist. Yeah,
Like-
some people didn't feel that way, though.
Then we do it like
They felt betrayed.
Someday we get to 1 million and we do the same thing, except we actually do only have one.
I was saying, like, what if we had 3, but we used the third one to pretend that we're going to do the hot knife challenge. And we cut it in half.
I want to find out if that's cake.
Oh, yeah, we should have a cake button.
Yep.
Corey Anderson said, being in the military is great. Free medical, housing, stipend. I have a pension waiting for me, and I have been in long enough to where I'm making 6 figures.
That's awesome.
It definitely can work out for some people, but others don't have a good experience. High Voltage 75 said, pecan, it's pecan woman. No, it's not. And I can say that as a Marylander. I don't think anybody said pecan during my childhood. I'm not a Southerner. So,
They said pecan where I was from.
I don't know. Corey Anderson said, there is a downside. My body is broken and I have severe depression. The choice is yours. Visit your local recruiter now. LOL.
You know what I think one of the downsides of social media is? And follow me on this thought process, is now you get people who create content around jobs and cultures that highlight like the downsides of it in like a funny and amusing way. Like I love
the downsides of being in the military.
Of not just the military, but anything. Like realtors will post like funny videos of like all the shitty things about being a realtor.
Sure.
And then you're like, like talks people out of ever wanting to do anything because they're going to come across the video where they show you just the stuff that sucks about a specific job or hobby.
I'll tell you, there's not much that sucks about being a podcaster.
Nope.
Quite like it. Hiroshima Otaru said, my back to formula super chat was a Spider-Man meme.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
I didn't catch it. Sorry. Evan King said, used to love Chips Ahoy, but sadly it has soy in it, just like many snacks, including Doritos and all candy. Is there an RFK Jr. or is there a way RFK Jr. can fix this? No.
I have ended the poll, ladies and gentlemen, and it looks like with 56% of the vote, Chewy wins.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yep.
That's justice. It should not be that much of a split, though. Look, if you eat things other than just junk food, I think it'll be fine.
There it was!
I'm not with the Maha anti-seed oil thing. Like, I'm not.
Like, I'm kind of in that camp where,
Thank you, guys.
I've kind of always joked, like you'll pry my soda from my cold dead hands, and like I quit drugs. I'm not giving this up, but I did give up the soda, and I don't necessarily like live the healthy. Like I don't eat the healthiest food, but Oh, go off.
Hello?
Well, we had 4. We had the 4th one that needed to go off.
Fourth?
It's perfectly timed. That's amazing. That was actually
That's never
necessary.
happened before.
No, I was going to do that one manually. But like at the same time, I'm definitely someone who's like I didn't want to be fat and disgusting, so I made changes. But I also think that people have turned certain aspects of. Is this gonna go off forever?
I'm not dancing to this one. This is weird. Something's wrong. Wait, did you set that one off? Oh, that's weird.
We're gonna keep going? Oh, that looked like it stopped at the end there. Hold on.
No, it stopped before.
Yeah.
It did stop before. I'm scared. Are we haunted?
We're haunted.
Oh my gosh, it's just gonna keep going!
It's broken, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, I guess that the lights are just gonna keep flashing for the remainder of the show. That's fine. I've become used to ignoring it now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we were just ranting about Maha, and then that happened. Okay. Shane H. Wilder said, "You're welcome for the short, even if Mary mispronounces pecan. It's okay, Mary. Nobody's perfect." What's happening?
I was just turning them off to see if we could. I'm gonna have to reset it after the
if
show.
you leave them on for the time being, it's kind of a vibe.
Yep.
Fine. Straight Rippin' 93 said, "I like turtles."
Is that everything?
We have another one from Hiroshima Otaru. "You can't dunk Chewy in milk. It's ridiculous." I have, and I will continue to do so.
Props you guys for breaking the
I
crisis
guess
meter
that was
today.
all
That's
on
what's
you.
up.
Do we have any Rumble rants?
I think. Let me double check. I make sure.
We
I
always
think we were
forget
caught
the
up,
Rumble
yeah.
rants toward the end of the show,
Yeah.
so I don't want to make sure that that doesn't happen.
We got one here from the local Wendigo. Well, fit as many pierogies possible into Brett by both ends on episode 1000. That's disgusting, my friend. Let's not say we did.
Do that.
That's a bad call, but I appreciate your weirdness in a
I think
gross
maybe we
way.
should do another mukbang.
I think that's all of them. All right.
We did a Taco Bell mukbang. Like, forget which episode.
I
that
think
was.
those are hard to do though, because you need like a camera that can cut to close-ups of the food. Otherwise, it just looks, and it just doesn't work.
People like looking at the food in 4K.
Yeah.
Up at their faces.
Yeah.
Is that the point?
I guess.
I don't know. I watch mukbangs sometimes. I don't really need to look at the food that closely.
All right.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Not with that attitude, Hiroshima." Yeah. You can definitely dunk the Chewy Chips Ahoy in milk.
Yes, you
I don't know
can.
what you're talking about. Anyways, you guys should head over to castbrew.com and get yourself a bag of Mary's Ghost Blend. I'm just smelling it right now. It's just like delicious. And you can use code TURKEY20 for 20% off for Thanksgiving. You can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X, that is also Mary Archived, and help me get TikTok famous, that is also Mary Archived.
Perfect. One more Rumble rant from High Voltage 75 says,
Ooh.
"Bring back the helium."
That's an interesting idea. Man, traveling with all of those balloons in my car that day was crazy work. Like, I could not see anything, and that was a car ago for me.
Yeah.
We could try. We could try to make that happen.
We got one more here from Brian Bledsoe. Says, I had to alternate Christmas and Thanksgiving. That's rough.
Oh, that sucks.
All right, guys. One more here from Hiroshima Utaru. Says, they fall apart like wet paper.
That's the point. Or you're waiting too long.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. If you guys want to follow me, I am on Instagram and X at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. This show is here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is, of course, always noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you would like to listen rather than just watch this show, you can rate and review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify, which is another great way to help the channel out. So thank you so much for that. If you want to follow us on social media, we are on Twix at PopCulture_show, Facebook at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. I believe that I will be on the Discord show tonight before IRL. I have to double check on all that. I got a lot of editing I got to get done beforehand. I will hustle up. I think I'll be able to make that happen, but I hope to see you there, guys. Later.
Bye.